A Learjet explodes just after takeoff, coming down near a mall like a missile with 6 people on board. What happened? The latest information on this episode of Taking Off. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken, and the hits keep on coming for the aviation industry. Another fatal accident, this time in Philadelphia. 6 people on a Learjet and 1 person on the ground confirmed dead and 19 injured at the time of this report. What do we know, and why did the aircraft create such a fireball on impact? And why is the BATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, investigating alongside the NTSB? We also have some information on the operator out of Mexico that we'll get to in a moment. Let's start with what we know. On January 31st, 2025, approximately 6:06 p.m. Eastern, a tragic accident occurred involving a Learjet 55 air ambulance aircraft operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, registration XAUCI. Call sign was MedJet's Flight 056. Shortly after departing from Northeast Philadelphia Airport, PNE, the aircraft climbed to approximately 1,600 feet before plummeting to the ground near the Roosevelt Mall in Philadelphia within 40 seconds of takeoff. Reports indicate the ADS-B data showed the aircraft descending at a rate of over 11,000 feet per minute before crashing near the Roosevelt Mall at the intersection of Cottman Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard. Air traffic control attempted to make contact with the aircraft several times after handing the aircraft over to departure before stating, "We have a lost aircraft." The jet was transporting a young girl who had received life-saving treatment in the United States. They were going back to Tijuana, Mexico via a fuel stop in Branson, Missouri. She was accompanied by her mother. Also on board were a doctor, a paramedic, the pilot and the co-pilot, totaling 6 occupants. Tragically, there were no survivors among those on the aircraft. And for background, let's get some details on the Learjet 55, commonly referred to as the Longhorn. Learjet was one of the first private jet manufacturers, and for decades in the 70s and 80s, they became a generalization for rich people travel. All private jets were called Learjets. The 55 was announced at the Paris Air Show in 1977 and could accommodate 10 passengers and 2 pilots. Production of the 55 ended in 1993. While it was amazing in the 80s, today they're one of the cheaper used jets that you can purchase. This particular Learjet 55 was made in 1982, so it was almost 45 years old. MedJet's 056 was departing Northeast Philadelphia Airport runway 24. According to the National Weather Service, winds were from the southwest at 10 knots. On the audio, the tower informs the Learjet winds were 250 at 10 knots at the time of takeoff. There were 6 miles of visibility, fog and mist, overcast at 400 feet. That's a really low ceiling. Temperature was 48 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity was 100%. And here's the tower communication for takeoff.
Medevac, Med Service 056, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, Med Service 056, affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Medevac, Med Service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056 Medevac. Thank you, good day.
Medevac, Med Service 056, Northeast Tower, contact Philly 123.8. Medevac, Med Service, Northeast Tower. Medevac, Med Service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency?
40 seconds after takeoff, the Learjet was seen by multiple cameras impacting the ground at a high rate of speed. The crash resulted in a massive explosion, igniting fires that affected nearby homes and businesses and cars, and causing injuries to over a dozen people on the ground. Witnesses described the explosion as shrapnel ripping into cars. Local officials are requesting anyone to not touch any of the debris they find and instead call authorities. The FAA and NTSB are investigating the accident. Video footage of the accident quickly spread throughout social media, with many asking what is going on due to the recent accident in Washington, D.C. that we previously covered here on Taking Off. Looking at this crash, it's amazing that only one person died on the ground. They are reporting another 19 injured, 6 houses, 6 cars caught on fire. And when you look at this angle, it appears something comes off the plane right here. Now let's take another look, frame by frame, backing it up. Right here, something coming off the plane. And I'm sure investigators will be looking at that. One interesting piece of news, of course the NTSB is investigating, but it's also being reported that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are also on site investigating along with the NTSB. I would attribute the large fireball to an airplane that was fully loaded with jet fuel since it had just started the trip. But maybe the ATF has other information? Well, we'll monitor that. We feel it here. Our hearts are heavy. So many lives taken too soon and due to accidents in aviation. So, doing research on the Jet Rescue Air Ambulance Company, a 2018 news article interview with the CEO reported their headquarters as Mexico City and that they started flying patients in 1994. Jet Rescue is the marketing brand for the operator certificate holder MedJets. As of 2018, their fleet included 10 Learjets. There were 2 25Ds, 5 35 models, 2 of the 55s, and a 60. And to be able to operate in the U.S., they do have to fulfill FAA requirements under the Part 135 rules, which covers things like maintenance, training, and operations. And I'm sure investigators will be looking at the maintenance logs and training closely. And this is not the first accident Jet Rescue Air Ambulance has had. On November 1st, 2023, the same company operating a Learjet 35A crashed in southern Mexico as it landed at Cuernavaca Airport in Morelos, Mexico, about 30 miles south of Mexico City. On board that aircraft were 5 crew members. No passengers were on board, although early reports had listed 4 people. There were 5, unfortunately. There were no survivors of this accident. The jet landed long on the 9,500-foot runway 20. It overran it and continued down a steep embankment before bursting into flames. Weather was good, winds were light. I have been unable to find a final report on this crash from any of the Mexican authorities. People are asking what caused this Learjet to crash right after takeoff, especially at that speed and with that kind of explosion. And the short answer is we don't know. And we're not going to guess. Investigators will be looking at everything, all the videos frame by frame, piecing together what clues they can from the wreckage. They'll look at the operator's maintenance logs in case it was a mechanical issue. They'll look at pilot training and ATC recordings. The important thing is to determine what caused this so that we can prevent it from happening again, no matter what the cause was. It's been a rough week in aviation. Please stay safe out there, and please support us by visiting our sponsors in the links in the description below. Also, here's our video that we did 10 months ago about DEI in ATC and aviation. And is it right or wrong? Check it out. Remember, superior judgment trumps superior skills. Take care.